Gotham, once shrouded in rain and shadows, now covered in a cold, relentless blanket of snow, Batman is back in a way you've never seen before. With The Batman Part 2 on the horizon, rumors and plot leaks are starting to surface, giving us a glimpse into the chilling storylines and villains that might await us. In this video, we'll break down everything we know about the plot, potential storylines, and how the sequel could shake up the Batverse as we know it. The Batman Part 2 have surfaced, hinting at everything from chilling new villains to mind-bending psychological warfare. Will Gotham City fall deeper into chaos, and could this winter be the coldest yet for our caped Crusader? Stick around till the end, because there's a lot to uncover as Batman's next much-anticipated sequel. The story so far, picking up from The Penguin. Out over this week that take you toward the end of the year, The Batman 2 takes place shortly after the Penguin spin-off series. Reeves said, "We don't play Christmas or New Year's, but we're getting there." Matt Reeves has confirmed that the film will be set during the winter, around the end of the year. Because of this confirmation, some fans believe the villain for the sequel will be someone who is not only familiar with the ice and snow, but uses its power to wreak havoc on Gotham City. This naturally opens the door for a cold-themed villain, leading fans to speculate that Mr. Freeze might make his chilling return to the big screen. But will we see the frosty villain as we've known him, or will Reeves give him a grounded, gritty reimagining similar to what we saw with Riddler in the first film? Mr. Freeze or someone else? One of the strongest rumors circulating is the possible inclusion of Mr. Freeze as a villain. The confirmation that The Batman 2 will take place during winter has led fans to believe that the iconic icy villain could be the perfect fit. Patrick Schwarzenegger, the son of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who played Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin, posted a playful tweet referencing his father's famous role, which sparked speculation that he might take on the mantle himself. However, Schwarzenegger quickly dismissed the rumors, though fans continue to hope for Mr. Freeze's return in a darker, more tragic incarnation. Matt Reeves' vision for Gotham has been grounded in realism, so if Mr. Freeze is included, expect a less fantastical portrayal compared to past versions. He could be reimagined as a scientist-turned-criminal who uses cutting-edge technology rather than the sci-fi freezing suits we've seen before with the Batman. Part 2 set in winter, and Matt Reeves continuing his darker, more realistic approach to Gotham, fans are speculating about a potential appearance by Mr. Freeze. Unlike the campy, over-the-top portrayal from Batman and Robin, this version of Victor Freeze could be reimagined as a tragic figure, a scientist who turns to crime in a desperate attempt to save his wife, Nora. This would align with Reeves's preference for emotionally complex villains grounded in a crime thriller narrative. A more realistic Mr. Freeze could use cutting-edge technology instead of outlandish freezing devices, emphasizing his coldness as a reflection of his emotional isolation. Though Mr. Freeze is the frontrunner in fan theories, Reeves could surprise audiences by opting for another ice-themed villain. Captain Cold or Killer Frost have also been floated as possibilities. First off, Batman has faced off against Captain Cold, a criminal who uses a cold gun that emits a beam that freezes anything it hits instantly. While Captain Cold started out his time in DC Comics as an antagonist for The Flash, his character was heavily featured in Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Pattinson's Batman could also go toe-to-toe with Killer Frost, who was also a nemesis of the Speedster and acted as one half of a main cast members in the CW's The Flash. Killer Frost is a universal name used by several female characters, including Crystal Frost, Louise Lincoln, and Caitlin Snow. While each woman turned into the icy supervillain during various experiments gone wrong, they all share the same powers of cryokinesis and heat absorption. Fans can see who Reeves and his team chose to challenge Batman's hold over Gotham City. However, given Reeves's realistic approach, Killer Frost might be less likely unless her abilities are toned down to fit the more grounded universe. Both characters offer different thematic possibilities, but a grounded version of Captain Cold seems more in line with Reeves's vision of a noir-inspired Gotham. The Joker's return? At the end of The Batman, we got a small tease of Barry Keoghan's Joker in a conversation with the Riddler. While Keoghan's return isn't confirmed, fans are still hoping that the Joker will play a larger role in the sequel, but don't expect the clown prince of crime to dominate the story just yet. He may be playing the long game, lurking in the shadows of Gotham's underworld while Batman faces a different, perhaps even more psychological foe. Reeves could be saving him for a future film, but there's still a chance he could have a minor but pivotal role in the sequel. In an interview, Matt Reeves hinted that the Joker is still in Arkham, working behind the scenes. He could be pulling strings or influencing other villains from his cell. This would be a slow burn, allowing Joker to rise as a larger threat in future installments. Hush. If there's one villain that seems tailor-made for Reeves's dark, noir-driven take on Gotham, it's Hush, a.k.a. Tommy Elliot. As Bruce Wayne's childhood friend turned enemy, Hush would offer a fresh kind of psychological villainy. Unlike many of Batman's physically imposing foes, Hush is a master manipulator, targeting Bruce's emotional vulnerabilities, specifically his identity. This could fit perfectly into Reeves's detective noir style, offering a thrilling mind game that forces Batman to confront his past traumas. Tommy Elliott's deep-rooted envy of Bruce stems from their childhood. While Bruce mourned his parents, Tommy orchestrated his parents' deaths in a twisted attempt to inherit their fortune, setting him on a dark path that would later lead him to become Hush. If Reeves brings Hush into The Batman, Part 2, it could elevate the emotional stakes by having Hush threaten to expose Batman's true identity, challenging Bruce Wayne in ways never before seen on screen. The inclusion of Hush could also tie back to Paul Dano's Riddler, as the two villains have previously teamed up in the comics. Such a partnership in the sequel could continue the narrative threads from the first film, blending physical and psychological threats. With Hush manipulating Gotham's underworld and Riddler continuing his cryptic games, Batman could find himself facing a dual villain plotline that pushes both his intellect and his emotional endurance. This psychological and character-driven approach would resonate with the detective themes of Reeves's vision, diving deep into Batman's psyche while expanding Gotham's criminal landscape. Fans are eagerly awaiting confirmation, as Hush could provide the perfect villain for a darker, more cerebral Batman story. Gotham's underworld, with Gotham still recovering from the flooding at the end of The Batman, the sequel is expected to dive deeper into the city's chaotic criminal underworld. Characters like Penguin, who is receiving his own spin-off series, are likely to play significant roles. Penguin's rise to power in the vacuum left by Carmine Falcone's death could be central to the sequel, adding a mafia-style power struggle amid the larger plot. The movie is likely to explore Gotham's deep-rooted corruption even further, perhaps expanding on political elements introduced in the first film. The Court of Owls, a shadow organization that has controlled Gotham from behind the scenes for generations, is one possible antagonist that could drive this theme of corruption. If introduced, they would add a layer of conspiracy to the sequel, logically offering a new challenge for Batman beyond just physical confrontations. With Gotham still reeling from the massive flood, the city's infrastructure and political stability will likely be hanging by a thread. This chaotic environment is perfect for various criminals to rise, giving the sequel a darker, more grounded tone as Batman contends with rebuilding Gotham while fighting crime. The film is expected to maintain the noir-inspired detective tone of the original. Batman may dive deeper into Gotham's underworld, encountering more of the city's lesser-known criminals or groups, which could expand the movie's scope beyond just big-name villains. Court of Owls, the secret power behind Gotham. Another storyline fans are speculating about is the Court of Owls. This ancient society secretly rules Gotham, manipulating events from the shadows. Hints of their existence were scattered throughout The Batman, particularly with Riddler's plot to expose the city's corruption. This group is known for using the undead assassins called Talons to do their bidding, which could present a new challenge for Batman. If the Court of Owls is involved, Batman will be up against more than just masked criminals. He'll face an organized, powerful group that has controlled Gotham for centuries. This could lead to an exploration of Gotham's dark history and the Wayne family's deep ties to the city, challenging Bruce's perception of his parents' legacy. One of the most exciting possibilities for the Batman, Part 2, is the potential inclusion of the Court of Owls. This shadow organization, a secret society of Gotham's wealthiest and most influential families, has been hinted at through subtle clues in the first movie. If true, this would introduce a deep conspiracy element to the Batman, further complicating Batman's fight to save Gotham. If the sequel explores this storyline, Batman would be facing a threat unlike any he's encountered before. an enemy with deep roots in Gotham's history, one that could shatter his belief in justice. The inclusion of the court would not only be a fan-favorite moment, but it would also tie directly into Bruce Wayne's past and his family's legacy. The Wayne family may have been more deeply involved in Gotham's corruption than Bruce realizes, and uncovering that truth could push him to the edge. This storyline would also complement the detective noir vibe Reeves has established, as Batman delves into the dark corners of Gotham's elite to expose the rot at its core. Clayface's one of the biggest rumors is that Clayface will make his cinematic debut as one of the central villains. This marks a significant shift from the more grounded noir tone of the first film, as Clayface is a shape-shifting, fantastical villain. Some sources suggest he could be reimagined with a more realistic backstory, fitting the gritty world Reeves has built. However, some rumors suggest that Matt Reeves could rework Clayface into a more grounded version, focusing on his tragic backstory as a disfigured actor or a man transformed by a chemical accident. This could maintain the noir, character-driven tone of the first film, even with the inclusion of a more visually dynamic villain. In The Batman, Matt Reeves emphasized a dark, gritty atmosphere with Gotham City drenched in rain, which symbolized the bleakness and corruption of the city. The film was grounded in noir aesthetics, with its heavy shadows and persistent rain mirroring the inner turmoil of Bruce Wayne as he struggled with his dual identity as Batman. Reeves has already hinted at continuing the somber, intense tone. If we imagine Gotham now blanketed in snow, the shift could bring a stark contrast to the first film's constant rainfall. The snow could symbolize a cold and unforgiving atmosphere, adding a new layer to Batman's journey. Snow-covered Gotham might visually highlight the isolation and detachment of Batman, as the white snow could contrast sharply with his dark figure, emphasizing his loneliness as a vigilante. Reeves will likely continue to showcase Batman in high-contrast environments, with more striking visuals that use the snow to enhance the tension, whether in chase scenes or in intimate, quiet moments. The wintry setting could also introduce new challenges for Batman's agility and tactics. Fans will have to wait until October 2026 to see which direction the film takes, but the possibilities are wide open for a complex, atmospheric sequel that expands the scope of Batman's world conclusion. So, what do you think? Will Mr. Freeze bring a cold front to Gotham, or Clayface bringing a shape-shifting nightmare, or will Hush's psychological warfare tear Bruce Wayne apart from the inside? Could the Court of Owls be pulling all the strings behind the scenes? Or the ever-chaotic Joker lurking in the wings? But one thing's for sure, Matt Reeves is setting us up for another intense, gritty, and emotional ride through Gotham City. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which villain you want to see in The Batman. Part 2, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to stay updated with all the latest news about Gotham's next dark chapter. Until next time, stay vigilant, and remember, vengeance is always watching.
Something in the way